Have you ever been mesmerized by the perfect egg with its soft, fluffy, cloud-like white, gently surrounding a creamy yolk that melts in your mouth? But when you actually try to make it, the result is not as expected. The yolk breaks or the white easily burns, making the dish lose all its appeal. If you have ever been frustrated by those moments of undercooked eggs, then this video is for you. I will share some simple, yet incredibly effective egg cooking tips that will help you conquer these seemingly difficult dishes right in your own kitchen. Even if you are a beginner, follow along and success will be in your hands. Let's get started. For the first method, you need a fresh egg. Then, gently separate the egg white from the yolk. Be careful not to break the yolk because we will need it later. Then, you can add a little salt to the egg white to enhance the flavor. If you want the egg to be more flavorful, try mixing in some shredded cheese. This will be delicious. Next, use a whisk or chopsticks to beat the egg white until it is fluffy. If you want it to be faster, you can use a hand mixer. Beat until the egg white is thick, smooth, and forms stiff peaks when you lift the whisk. That's when the egg white is ready. Once the egg white is whipped, place a pan on the stove and turn the heat down. Add a little cooking oil or unsalted butter to prevent sticking and create a pleasant aroma. When the pan is slightly hot, scoop in the whipped egg white and form a small round cloud. Then, use a spoon to gently make a small dot in the middle. Pour the egg yolk into the dot. Cover the pan and keep the heat very low. Let the egg sit for about 2 minutes until the white and yolk are slightly set. If you like a runny yolk, just leave it for 1 minute. If you like your eggs more cooked, you can leave it for a little longer. Now, let's see the result. A fluffy cloud egg with soft, spongy whites and a rich yolk. You will definitely smile at first sight. The second method is to prepare 2 small bowls, each filled with about 1/3 clean water, just enough for the eggs to float in the bowl. Then, crack an egg into each bowl. Adding water to the bowl helps to distribute the egg white and yolk evenly and prevents the egg from touching the bottom of the hot bowl during steaming. This method helps to reduce the risk of sticking, deformation, or uneven cooking. This method is very effective if you want the poached eggs to be plump, not broken, and keep their beautiful shape. When ready, prepare a steamer and fill it with water. Then, bring the water to a boil. Once the water boils, carefully place the small bowls containing the eggs into the pot. Cover and keep the heat at medium to ensure the eggs are steamed evenly. The ideal steaming time is 6 to 7 minutes, depending on the desired doneness of the eggs. If you want soft yolks, steam for about 6 minutes. When the time is up, turn off the heat, but do not open the lid immediately. Continue to steam the eggs for another 30 seconds on the remaining heat to avoid sudden changes in temperature that may cause the eggs to crack or shrink. Then, gently open the lid and take out the bowl of eggs. Pour out the water and use a spoon to scoop the poached eggs onto a plate. And you have a batch of soft poached eggs with a perfect shape. The white covers the yolk. The surface is smooth and there are no cracks. Try this method now to feel the difference. Next is method number 3. First, put a pot of water on the stove and pour in enough water to cover the eggs. Next, crack the egg into a small bowl, being careful to keep the yolk intact in the middle. This will make the finished product look more attractive. When the water starts to boil slightly, not boiling hot, Add 1 tablespoon of white vinegar and stir well. Vinegar helps the egg white to solidify faster when in contact with hot water, preventing the egg from overflowing and keeping its beautiful shape. Use chopsticks to stir the water in one direction, creating a gentle whirlpool in the middle of the pot. Then, slowly pour the egg into the middle of the whirlpool, gently to avoid breaking the yolk or causing the white to separate. If the whirlpool stops after adding the egg, you can use chopsticks to gently stir the outside of the egg so that the white completely covers the yolk, making the egg rounder and more even. Eggs are a familiar ingredient, easy to cook and rich in nutrients. Boil eggs for about 30 seconds to 1 minute to set. For soft yolks, boil for about 1 to 2 minutes. For hard-boiled eggs, boil for about 3 minutes for a delicious dish. When the eggs reach the desired doneness, gently remove them to a plate. A perfectly cooked egg will be soft. A smooth egg white envelops a slightly runny yolk. When cut open, the yolk oozes out in an attractive way with a rich, sweet, and delicious flavor, reaching the ideal level of deliciousness. Let's move on to method number 4. Now, prepare a large bowl and crack 2 eggs into it. Add a little pepper to taste, depending on your family's preference. Then, use chopsticks or a whisk to beat the eggs until the mixture is completely smooth, with no white streaks. Next, place a non-stick pan on the stove and heat it over medium heat. When the pan is hot, pour a thin layer of cooking oil and spread it evenly over the pan. Wait until the oil is very hot. Then, pour the egg mixture into the center of the pan. When the edges of the egg start to set, use 2 chopsticks to clamp the middle of the egg, holding it in place. Using your other hand, gently rotate the pan in one direction. The egg will naturally spiral into a beautiful spiral shape. When the bottom is light golden, turn off the heat and carefully lift the egg out of the pan. The finished dish is a spiral egg with a golden outer shell and a soft, smooth, slightly creamy filling. Try making this now to experience the delicious taste. The last way. If you are a busy person and do not have much time to steam eggs in a pot like the previous tip, try this quick and simple method. Just prepare a hot pan. Then add water. When the water boils, we will slowly crack 1 egg into it. Note that you should not add too much water because it will easily make the egg soggy, and too little water will make the egg easily burnt. About 1 minute for a soft egg with a runny yolk, 2 minutes for a medium, smooth and soft egg, or 3 minutes if you want it fully cooked. You should not boil it for more than 5 minutes because the egg is very easy to dry. The egg white will become tough and lose its natural softness. Then, take the egg out and enjoy. And that's it. You have a hot, round steamed egg with a moderate, easy-to-control degree of doneness. Just as delicious as when using the traditional steaming method. So, I have just shared with you 5 simple yet extremely effective ways to boil eggs that you can easily try at home. If you try them, feel free to share your thoughts or results in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, please support me by hitting the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming cooking tips. Thanks for watching and see you in the next videos.